Hi, Charla.
Hi, Charlotte.
Hi.
I'm Scarlett. We've been talking over Instagram and email. I'm the community engagement and partnership lead at Mind Your Mind. And
Hi, nice to meet you.
yeah, nice to meet you too. And this is my coworker. I'll let her introduce herself.
Yeah, it's very nice to meet you. My name is Valentina, and I am the Youth Engagement Coordinator at Mind Your Mind.
Very nice to meet you as well.
I love that you have a background and everything to promote and represent. Really
Yes,
nice.
this time of year it's always up there, but I kind of leave it up all year round because I don't really know where else to put it.
That's fair. All right. Well, if you are okay to get into it, do you mind sharing what your role is with London Defeat Depression?
Yes, actually, I'm the executive coordinator for Mood Disorder Society of Canada. So my role with the Defeat Depression campaign in London is I'm actually assisting the chair there, Shane Haniff, in organizing the event on May 27th for the Defeat Depression campaign. And the Defeat Depression campaign is an initiative of Mood Disorder Society of Canada, which is why I'm involved.
Cool. Okay. Do you mind sharing a bit more about what that initiative is?
Yes. And so the way that it previously looked and the way that it started to look in the pandemic is a little bit different. So the Defeat Depression campaign is typically or historically a walk, run, or physical challenge in support of mental health resources, some in support of community partner organizations and some in support of Mood Disorders Society of Canada. Now, since the pandemic, we opened up to kind of virtual fundraising activities as well to allow people to fundraise on their own in a way that makes them feel safe, regardless of what's going on with the pandemic. Now, we've had a lot of return to in-person events, but there are still many that prefer to participate virtually.
Yeah, for sure. And that's awesome that you're still allowing that to be an option for folks. Um, so you did mention a bit that some of the fundraising goes towards resource development. Could you talk a bit about some examples of what those resources might be?
Yes, and so Mood Disorder Society of Canada does a lot of things, so I can't deep dive into all of it. One thing I will say is if you're interested in more information, to check out www.mdsc.ca. One of our resources that we've put forth is also depressionhurts.ca. This particular resource offers a lot of education for people experiencing mental health concerns, but also caregivers that are trying to assist or support a loved one experiencing mental health concerns. MDSC also produces some different educational booklets and pieces on their website, such as the Workplace Mental Health booklet or the What is Bipolar booklet. We have the Elephant in the Room campaign, which is a national anti-stigma campaign. A lot of schools and workplaces take part where you put an elephant on your desk, and it's supposed to signify to people that if they would like to talk about their mental health concerns, they're in a safe space to do so. You're not going to judge them. You're open to it, you know. And also, I think it also signifies that you have the capacity to do so at the moment, which is something that's important. Those are a few of our initiatives. Another one that is particularly relevant to the London campaign is Mira. So recently, last year, actually, we did a research kind of poll across Canada. And something that was a common theme coming up is that Canadians that were going to receive mental health support either in an emergency room situation or in a walk-in situation, they weren't being advised of community mental health programs. And with the pandemic going on, we wanted to try and help. We wanted to try and find a way to allow both healthcare workers and people within the community to see what's around them in terms of mental health support, more than just kind of Google. So Mira offers pre-vetted mental health resources. So everything goes into a portal that gets pre-approved by our pre-expert advisory committee. And so that kind of filters out misinformation, makes sure that the links are valid. And it also may allow for different community organizations to get represented in a different way. As you know, on a Google search, SEO matters. Some really important community organizations that are on the ground doing amazing things, they don't have the time or resources necessarily to market themselves out there, to advertise, to make sure they're at the top of that Google list. So something we're working on as we expand across Canada is making sure that we can encompass as many of those community organizations as possible, because they are the ones in the community, boots on the ground, assisting where needed. So that's a couple of things that we do. There is so much more. Definitely check out the website for a kind of an exhaustive list of programs and things that MDSC offers.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for sharing about those. And yeah, it's so true that the grassroots or the community-based organizations aren't able to get the word out as much because they don't have the capacity or to be able to market. And so that's amazing to be working to give them better visibility. So you did also mention that part of the Defeat Depression campaign is about stigma reduction. Do you have any advice on how you would encourage young people to engage in reducing stigma?
Yes. First and foremost, I would say don't be afraid to talk about your mental health. And sometimes it's hard to do that, and you don't always get the response that you want the first time. And I would say keep trying. You may not always get the right person the first time. Keep telling your story. Listen with compassion, because that allows other people to share their story, and keep sharing their story, because there's also a lot of self-stigma that comes with the stigma that we hear about all around us. And so when you hear, or at least when I hear, someone else talking about their personal mental health story, I feel comforted and almost safer to talk about my own experiences, how things are going, and be vulnerable. So I would say that that's one thing you can do, is just keep the conversation going, be open to having those conversations, and share your story with the people around you, your friends and your family. And when people see that you're open to communicating about mental health, I think it really encourages others to do the same.
Definitely. Yeah, that's great advice. I think I was seeing that the Defeat Depression campaign also is involved in some research and government advocacy. Would you be able to touch on that at all?
Yes, the Mood Disorder Society of Canada really advocates towards the government for improved mental health, policies and support of community organizations. That's something that we're really pushing for. So some ways that you can get involved, actually, if you're a youth, the National Youth Advisory Council is something that MDSC has, and it's for youth, and it's by youth, and they are often doing research into mental health. Right now, they actually have a poll out across Canada for different youth to fill out about their experiences with mental health and services within their schools, hoping to get a landscape of where we can best support youth and what kind of services they're getting out there. And so that's something that our National Youth Advisory Council is continuously working on. They're putting out, resources that they know about, that they've encountered, that work for them. They produce their own kind of stories. They have a blog there as well. And then they're doing research on an ongoing basis, trying to figure out kind of how we can best support, youth and mental health as a whole in Canada. So those are some ways. You can get involved with our Youth Advisory Council, but there are other ways too. You can participate in research studies. There are research studies out there that allow, people to participate if they're experiencing mental health concerns. You can join different boards within your community. Many times there are different mental health related or advocacy boards. You can talk about your mental health, on social media. And I think that that gets attention by other people in your community. And when your whole community is talking about it, it travels up, right? The mayor notices, the MP notices, the MPPs start to notice when everybody's talking about it as a whole. And then also just contact, your local officials if there's something that you're concerned about or that you want to see in the mental health landscape in your area. Reach out to the people in charge around you and make sure that your voice is heard.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. Thanks so much, Charlotte.
Mhm.
Thanks.
And we also wanted to just get a few more details about the upcoming event coming up in May 27th and information on how to get involved and just overall any details you'd like to share.
Absolutely, yes. So it's taking place on May 27th at Victoria Park. Now, if you register online now at www.defeatdepression.ca, we can make sure that we have a t-shirt there for you to pick up. We have Defeat Depression t-shirts, and we're walking the loop of Victoria Park, and we'll have some different speakers there. There will be children's entertainment there as well. We should have a face painter on site and some acoustic music throughout the park. We'll have different vendors as well. So hoping to draw in, families that are wanting to do something and support the event and support Mood Disorder Society of Canada, but also just have a great community day where families can come out and do something and enjoy the hopefully good weather.
Oh yeah, we're crossing our fingers for you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely amazing. And it's so haptic. It's so exciting to see the community coming together for this day and this purpose. And we also wanted to ask you one last question. If
Sure.
there was one thing you want people to know about depression, what would you say?
One thing. I mean, there's so many things. First of all, you don't have to be silent. Reach out for help. I think that's something that we all kind of say, though, reach out for help. If it doesn't work the first time, reach out again. And also just depression looks different on everybody. If someone around you isn't quite acting themselves, but they're still showing up on the everyday, or they're smiling, but maybe they just aren't as connected as they used to be, it's okay to, reach out, ask people how they're doing, and just stay connected, look after each other, and, try your best to look after yourself by reaching out and connecting when you can.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for joining. It was so nice to talk to you and to be able to learn a bit more about the campaign and also Mood Disorder Society of Canada.
Mhm.
Yeah. I guess just as a last note, is there any other way that you would want to share for people to get in touch with Defeat Depression besides checking out the website?
Yes, we do have most of the social media platforms that are out there. We've got Instagram, and we've got Facebook, and we've got Twitter. You can find us on there by searching. And then if you have any questions, you can always email info@defeatdepression.ca as well. Or if particular to London questions, you can email london@defeatdepression.ca, and myself or one of the co-chairs will get back to you.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much, Charla.
Thank you.
Yeah, crossing our fingers for nice weather, and I'm hoping to make it out myself. So
Oh, it would be so great to meet you. Thank you again. I hope you both have a great week.
thank you.
Thank
You
you so
too.
much. Have a good day.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.